Hello, hello, comadres. Welcome to Acknowledging the Stars with Marlene and
Ilona Pamplona.
Ilona Pamplona. We are so happy to be here for the special Comadres event that is open to everyone. We are grateful to give you a little taste of this community along with our favorite subject, astrology. And we get to talk about all the things that are going on and give you a little taste of just a small benefit, just one of the small benefits that you get from being part of this paid membership, along with so many other juicy things like business coaching. There's like homeschooling for moms, a group for homeschooling for moms. There's our Mystic Corner where our woo-woo comadres get together. And we have all these things where whatever your flavor is, whatever your style is, we've got something for you. Ilona, I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you for being here with me.
I'm honored.
Yay! So I am Marlene again, and I am your moon goddess, resident moon goddess. And being part of the Comadres, being a madrina in the Comadres, I bring you a bi-monthly full moon and new moon report. And this is a little bit of a cocktail of the information that is accessible when you're part of this amazing community. Welcome, Comadres that are here live. Thank you for making the effort and being here with us. This is amazing. And I want you to be interactive. I want you to go ahead and put things in the chat. Let us know how you're feeling. Give us, a little bit of what you've been going through. And then after, we're going to do about 20 minutes of Q&A. We're going to let you kind of ask questions and just kind of have an organic conversation about everything that we've discussed. So without further ado, we'll jump right into it. Welcome to those comadres that are potential comadres that are here watching this. And, if you have any questions about the comadres, please reach out to me or Ilona, ask us for information. We'd be more than happy to share whatever it is, any questions, or just talk about our experience with this. So let's get to the astrology. Ilona, how have you been feeling?
Well, I don't know about you all, but I've had literally a handful of people reach out to me on social media today and be like, what is happening today? It feels different today. And I can definitely tell you that today has been a very shift of energy from me in that I felt a little lighter. And I felt a little bit more grounded. And, Marlene, I'm sure we'll go into all the transits, but I think between solstice and the retrogrades that are entering and the retrogrades that are leaving the chat, there's a lot of shifts overall from Saturday through tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Shift is right now the name of the game, and change. It's summer solstice and equinoxes, solstices, things like that. They really remind us of the changes of the cycle and how change is inevitable and it's always coming. So I've been feeling that intensity for quite a few weeks now, but we'll get into all of that. And comadres, drop in a word of how you're feeling in the chat. Be part of the conversation. Tell us how you've been transiting and navigating these waters, because they have been intense. Before we get started, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marlene. I am an oracle, I am a cosmic shaman, and I am a divine feminine alchemist. And what that means is that I work with women, and I have a lot of tools in my toolbox where we have access to changing the programs that have kept women in an old story, in a story that doesn't feel right, doesn't feel authentic. And how do we disrupt that program so that they can step into their full creative lives? I get to do that with women every day. And that's a little bit about what I do. One of my lifetime hobbies has been astrology, and I am an eternal student of astrology. And I get to have fun with these women every month, talking shop and talking stars and talking planets. And it's really a great way to transform your life, to liberate certain things that may be holding you down. So that's a little bit about me. I want Ilona to give you a little bit about what she does. Ilona, take it away.
Yes, so I'm Ilona Pamplona and I'm astrology informed life coach. My goal is to help women step into their clarity of purpose and begin to take, go in that direction. And so I use astrology as a compassion compass for where are you? Where do you get to go? What are the patterns? And how can you then use that information to live the life you want? And through the framework of traditional coaching, I also call myself an oracle because one of the things that if you know me and you follow me on social, I love words. I do a whole series on spellings. And oracle comes from Latin oraculum, which means to hold a prayer on high, and it's also a high priest or priestess. So it's someone who's holding your prayers to help it make sure that it gets put as high as possible to watch it unfold. So, this idea of we're not here to tell you how to live your life. I think Marlene, you and I probably get a lot of like predictive astrology questions like what should I do moving forward, but really astrology can be used to really ground you in to the present moment so you can have a really powerful relationship with where you are and use the stars as a compass to where you get to go and how you get to do that. So that is a little bit about me.
I love that, Ilona, because I'm a real big fan of using astrology in a real practical way where we can take the tools and like make changes today. And speaking of today, if you're watching this later, today is June 21st and it is summer solstice. Last night was when the sun was at its peak and it is at its highest point. And that's what marks the summer solstice. That's what lets us know that a shift is coming. And it's through the gateway of Cancer that summer solstice comes in, and it gives us that new season. It gives us that change, and it gives us that awareness of those shifts in our lives and how we are part of nature and we mimic these cycles as well. And through the gate of Cancer, a very nostalgic, if you will, sign. Cancer is always about remembering, right? Remembering and bringing in those elements of the past. And we, Cancers can have an energy where they feel a little bit stuck to the past, but it really is bringing all of that because in Cancer, we also honor forgetting. And how when we come into this life, when that our soul becomes a body, we forget. We forget where we came from. We forget source. We experience that separation. And we feel that in our hearts. So it's a very emotional sign. And, through the eyes of Cancer season, and if you will, let's be nostalgic, right? And comadres, those of you that are here live, drop in a word on how the retrograde treated you, because this is about acknowledging the stars, and acknowledgement is about also looking where we came from and how do we honor that? What did we learn? What lessons came along with that hardship, right? So drop in a word of how you felt. For me, it had to be confusion. I don't know about you, Ilona. What's your word?
I put in that it was a mental boxing match. Boom, 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 boom. We're back and forth. You're gonna try to beat me up in my mind. I'm gonna fight back, and it's just like a struggle.
We have regression. We have mental mind fucks. Good one. It's Ilona was kind of feeling you there. A reminder of old needing to give up. Like the strongest gust of wind to my whole body, pushing me slow. Nice. Retrograde was confusion and testing me and decisions I made, like a pull back and forth. Yeah, definitely confusion, uncertainty, back and forth, inner turmoil, right? So, yeah, pretty retrograde-y,
Yeah.
And with the eclipse season right in the middle of that, Ilona, like for me, it intensified, like it gave me the themes way before the retrograde even started, weeks before the retrograde started, I started seeing the themes that were coming. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, this is going to be a doozy, you know? How about
Yeah,
you?
you know what? The other thing that came up for me was very mercurial, right? Because we had, so mercurial is kind of like this moodiness, and we had Mercury in Gemini. We started the season also with Venus in Gemini, and I think Mars was in Gemini. So we had a lot of stuff in Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And then we had Mercury in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, and then the Mercury retrograde. So there was all this Mercury energy, and Mercury is a planet of thought, of communication, how we think, how we speak. So there's all this energy with the planets, to how they express themselves, but still within the sign of the speaker and the thinker. And it was all just being like shaken up. So that's why I think a lot of us are like, I saw a lot of like my mind, mental mind fuck, like my confusion, because there was so much mental energy, and the eclipses were in the signs that represent our curiosity, intellect, or our wisdom in our mind. So there was a lot of, this is why we're hearing a lot of mind, because it wasn't just emotional. It's like my brain, my mind, my thoughts were the lead energy that were impacted by this.
Oh yeah, big time, and confusion, because during it's like it started off there, and then when Mercury went into retrograde in Gemini, it just intensified the confusion, because it was in a hard square with Neptune most of the time. It still is. And Neptune brings in that illusion, that delusion, that confusion, that, it's not all as it seems. And it really amplified that lack of focus, really hard to really like dive into like projects. I had a few projects that were going on, and I had to take a major stop.
Yes, me as well. There's a major project that I had to do, and I just haven't been able to like think on how to approach it. Like I just had to be like, okay, I'm taking a break.
Yeah. And I was hoping that during that new moon that we had, what was the last new moon we had?
Was it the one in Gemini?
Yeah, Gemini.
With the solar eclipse.
Yeah, I was hoping that one would kind of bring, with the return of the sun into Gemini, kind of bring some clarity into the space. But no. So I'm hoping that happens now with the solstice, comadres. I'm hoping that light energy, Ilona, that you are feeling will start spreading to all of us. So with that shift, moving forward into the summer solstice, if you have nothing else to add about that time, Ilona.
With the solstice?
No, if you have
I think you said it all.
Okay, sounds good. So moving on to the summer solstice.
No, with the Mercury's, no.
Okay, cool. So that gateway to Cancer, right? And what is the important meaning of these markers, right? How we were talking, Ilona, these solstices and these equinoxes happen in the cardinal signs. So it happens in the constellation of Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, right? So with that, cardinal energy, when we refer to cardinal energy, it's initiatory energy. It's energy that kind of bursts, right? And it comes out, and it starts things. It's like the initiatory energy that shifts the season into gear, when we move from one energy to the next energy. And those are pivotal markings in our progress. Right? We're reminded of how we also work in cycles. We also work in seasons. And right when we were starting this, I pulled a card. I wanted to pull a card. And these are the two cards that flew out of the deck.
Oh my goodness. Perfect for solstice. Perfect for solstice.
Yes.
I see the death
And
in the sun.
yeah, so summer solstice. Um, Tell me what you think.
So solstice comes from Latin solstitium, which means like the sun appears to stand still. It's like a standstill of the sun. And what comes up for me when I think about like the equinoxes or the solstices is this idea of like we get like the illumination, because it's the focal point is the sun in those experiences. And so right now, after this crazy experience that we just had with all of the retrogrades and all of the eclipses, this is we finally get the sun shining through, y'all. This is the light at the end of that mercurial tunnel, and the opportunity for us to begin to, the way I was seeing it, and Marlene, I'd really be curious to hear it. The way I was interpreting it is with the sun being now shining, because it's shining on us, right? Like it's almost 8 o'clock and I'm like, the light is still coming in through the window in my room. But at the same time, we're in Cancer, which is all about feeling. Like I think we were all so in our heads last season that we weren't actually feeling what was happening. We were thinking about what was happening. And now we get to have the light really allow us to feel. We get to see what we were feeling. We get to push through and heal through the feeling, because for me, Cancer is also the mother. Cancer is the maternal experience. It's like the hug, this like warm sun maternal hug that we get to have, to kind of really allow ourselves to cry, allow ourselves to feel, allow ourselves to get mad, so that we can then enter Leo season with full force when this season is done.
Yes, yes, and feel the feels, comadre. This is the time to do that, and to be that summer baby, and to go out and play in the sun, and to really take in the rays of the sun, and like work with your solar plexuses, work with your power. This is a powerful time, and this reading, hello, this is transformation. This is change right here. And for the sun to show up on summer solstice, we ain't messing around, comadres. This is a powerful group. And this is the kind of magic that you experience when you come together and you collaborate and you work together and you embody who you are. And really, everything is in full bloom. Everything in summer is just open and showing itself. And that's what you get to do. And sometimes that's not easy, because we need to then deal with our crap that's along the way while we get to show ourselves, right? But this is the time where we get to purge that, where we get to reach into our power, where we get to connect with our power people. Like you said, nurture yourself. What does your soul need to nurture it? Does it need a friend? Does it need to go out with your girlfriends? Does it need to go to the beach? Where is it that you can refuel, where you can bring that light that's being offered, that's being descended? Because think about it, in the summer solstice is when the sun reaches its peak, its highest point. And then it begins to fall. It begins to descend into the fall equinox that comes later on, right? So the light is descending upon us. We still get to enjoy the longer days and the shorter nights and the early dawns. But yes, we are returning. We're falling, if you will, into that fall equinox, right? So where can we draw in the light? Where? Think about it during this time. What parts of you need illumination, need a little light?
I love this. And I just can't help but think how like the sun is the center of our universe, and we're really getting recharged by it too.
Oh, I mean, so much. And this is what we do in the summer. And comadres, remember, like, this happens all the time. Nature is reliable. We go through these cycles, we go through these seasons, and so do you. So you get to learn what are your rhythms. When are you best? What season are you best? What season do you rest? Ooh, that rhymes. You know, and, you know, uh, also our cycles is powerful. Okay, think about it in terms of our cycles, what we go through on a monthly basis, every 28 days, comadres, right? And friends of comadres. So let's see. So as I was going into cardinal energy, we can understand how we can use this initiatory energy to, after the retrograde on the 29th, where it finally starts going forward and starts going direct again, everything that's been brewing inside of you. We have a full moon in Capricorn, which Capricorn loves to put things in order, loves to straighten out all these insights and all this like chaotic energy. The universe is intelligent, okay? And all of this just kept brewing up. Oh, Yudi, you're a Capricorn. Cool. I didn't know that. So like all of this stuff that has been unearthing, now when Mercury goes direct on the 29th and we have the illumination of the sun and we're entering into the new season, into the season of Cancer, we get to move forward with all of that. We really get to use this momentum, use this energy to move forward, because Cancer energy is determined. You know, you want to start projects, you want to get that motivation going, you know, Cancer will get you there. Definitely.
I can't help but think of the mythology of Cancer too. Do you know about the mythology of Cancer? So Cancer, from a mythological perspective, was actually the crab Krios, and I joked that he was like Neptune's pimp or like bodyguard, because Neptune was in charge of all the sirens in the sea, and Krios was in charge of making sure the sirens wouldn't go away. And then a squid came and was like, I'm taking these girls, and Krios was like, not on my watch. And he fought off the squid and was injured. And so Neptune was like, yo, you kept my girls. I'm going to put you out of your pain, but I'm going to make you a constellation. But it is this like fight for your territory energy. And this is why, yes, in some ways we see Cancer as the maternal figure, but there's this home theme, what is home? What is nurturing? What is territory for me? What is my home base? Because whether you see it as a mother figure or you see it as Krios, like defending the girls on his turf, it's all about like, this is mine. Like, what is mine? What am I taking care of? Whether it's through the divine feminine nurturing or through the defense of like, this is my territory.
Definitely, like, and it's like a good mother, right? Nurturing, compassionate, with an iron fist. You don't mess with an angry mother, okay?
No.
Snap, snap, snap. So I love that. I'm so into mythology, and I love the archetypes of all these signs and all of these constellations, because they really do give you insight as to what trajectory this is taking, like what the planets are saying when they're speaking through certain constellations like Cancer or Gemini or Leo, right? And I love that you brought the theme of home, because that is it. Like, Cancer is about how do you mother yourself, essentially, and what is your idea of home? Because it really is when they introduce the soul into the body, right? It's that point in the astrology where it's that incarnation of when that soul comes in. So it's really about home. And what is home? Essentially, your body, first and foremost, your temple. And then it's what we manifest around. So this is a really great time for manifestation as well, everything is in bloom and showing itself. Okay. So I love that you brought that up. I almost forgot about home, which is such a central theme of Cancer, an important one. So yeah, Mercury goes direct on the 29th. Woo-hoo! And so important. I can't wait. And it's been a doozy, definitely. But comadres, let's think. What lessons came up? What did we learn? Or were we asked to look at? What did the chaos unearth? And were there insights? Is there a conversation that you have to have now when Mercury goes direct? You know, maybe that conversation is with yourself, you know? So let's think about that. Let's, instead of saying, finally, we got to get out of this. You know, yes, we do. And yay, trust me. But let's not forget the lessons, because this is so important to move forward. You know, when retrogrades come, I have learned throughout, I guess, my experience with astrology, that the more that I embrace that retrograde, the more that I try to breathe through the changes, the shifts. Some of them are easier, some of them are more intense, but I really do learn a lot. I don't know about you, Ilona, and comadres, drop in a yes if you learn a lot during retrogrades.
Yeah, I can't help but think that there was a week and a half ago, I just had like a week where it's like every client was in meltdown. I had friends in meltdown, and then I had friends in meltdown who were telling me, like pointing fingers at me, and I was like, ooh, I could respond, but I know we're in Mercury retrograde, so I am going to take the wisdom, listen, and allow for this to pass, so that when the retrograde is through, I could be like, hey, my experience was this, and just to let you know, I'm not holding this against you, but I know that wasn't about me. Because a week later, so last week, after they like blew up on me, they were like, oh yeah, I was just having a bad day. And I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't respond. Thank God I didn't respond, because I was ready to be like, oh, bring it. I will tell you all about you, girl. But I didn't. And I saved that friendship, because I could have chosen to feed the meltdown, and I chose to stand in the power of knowing that Mercury was like, oh, our signals are crossed, so I'm gonna disconnect. Oh, I can't hear you, call drop.
Yep. And this is the way that we use these transits. This is how we learn. This is where you are little astro enthusiasts and people that are really like using this in their life. This is where you have the upper hand, for a better choice of words. You know, this is where you get to say, oh yeah, it's Mercury retrograde, and I really do care about this person. So I am not going to say a damn word until I'm ready. So
right.
This is the right way. This is how astrology it gets practical, you know?
Yeah.
So, I want to bring up something cool that I heard today. I forgot. I want to give this astrologer credit. Oh, Molly McCord. And I was listening to Molly McCord about the upcoming full moon that's coming in the 24th, I believe, in Capricorn. And that, since 2019, all lunations in Capricorn have been eclipses, except this one. This is the first one where we get to experience the Capricorn energy again without an eclipse. So this is going to be grounding. Words came up like productive, grounding, responsible, moving forward, completing tasks.
Ambitious.
Probably ambitious. And any words that are coming up for anyone who's live, drop it in the chat, because This is where we get to reach into our intuitions. Wow, Marlene, and the day after my birthday, I feel like, fuck, it's all making sense. Yay, Karen. And happy birthday, Karen. Yay. So she had written before that, it took me some time of my lowest low, but also it showed me the path of truth. I'm on point. Yeah, it's on point and one of my own. Karen, that's great. Um, you know, alignment isn't all glitter and it's not fun. Sometimes it is, and it's freaking amazing in that way. And sometimes it's freaking amazing in other ways where you really get to transform. And I've learned, I want Ilona for you to touch a little bit on the trine that's going on. But I really want to say that this is the difference between like free flowing energy and energy that creates obstacles. Energy that creates obstacles is for us to get to know the grit, get to know ourselves. This is where we question, and it depends on where it's happening in your own natal chart, what you're questioning. We're always questioning, and it just depends what themes are coming up. But now, like when we move into an easier energy, then we get to take all those lessons and move forward with the energy and apply them. If we were always in free flowing energy, then we really wouldn't learn shit.
Yeah, it's hard to want to take responsibility that this is like a learning lesson and this is like what we came to experience, but it really is. But even when there's like, the cosmic shitstorm, there are opportunities of grace. Like today, Mio was saying exactly what I was feeling earlier, where it's like yesterday I was like, it doesn't feel good. And then today I was like, oh, it feels better. And between the solstice and the trine, so a trine is where you have there's a, you'll literally see like a triangulation, like three elements. So a planet in the elements. So there are 12 signs, 4 elements, and 3 qualities, what we call them. And so we've got the 3 water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, that have planets there, and they're forming a triangle in the sky. And so it's the Venus is in Cancer. So on top of the sun in Cancer, we have Venus in Cancer that's trining Neptune in Pisces, and the moon in Scorpio. So the moon in Scorpio, the moon is how we're feeling. And we've got in Scorpio, which is like really deep. And then we've got Venus, the planet of like the things that we like, pretty things, Empress kind of energy, in Cancer, the mother. And then we've got Neptune, the dreamer, in the sign that it rules, who's just a dreamer. So there's this like beautiful emotional combination that's nurturing, that's dreamy, but it's also deep. It's not going to be superficial. It's not going to be like, like just weepy. It's going to be like, okay, what is the depth of this emotion? where do we get to go with this? And so we just came out of this crazy roller coaster of emotions. And then the water signs are kind of like, and they're like holding us like, okay, here, I'm going to hold you for a moment with all these emotions and with all these beautiful planetary placements to allow you to actually feel it, but being held, because a trine is good energy. So in the chart, so, when you're doing a birth chart, sometimes we don't talk about like these aspects. Sometimes we're just like, you have this in here, but like there are aspects, and this is a beautiful combination saying, we've got you today. We've got you today emotionally. So I don't know if people are starting to feel relief today, but if you do, you're probably feeling the effects of the trine that's saying, it's okay, go ahead and cry, or it's okay, you can be happy, or it's okay, you can feel your feels, because we've got you. We're going to push you to feel this so you can heal it. My favorite phrase is, I don't fake it till I make it, I feel it till I heal it. And that's what this water trine is allowing us to do.
It's a beautiful opportunity. Don't hold back any tears. Don't miss the opportunity to purge and let go, whatever that looks like. Because like Ilona says, we have the universe. It's got our back. it's holding us, it's nurturing us, it's sending us the message that it is okay to feel the feels and to let it go, because we have that extra support. And really, the more that we let go from here to the full moon, the more that we make room and make space, the more light can come in, the more we can receive that light, the more space we have to place it, to fill us, to give us all that good juju. So feel the feels. That's, what is it? I heard it. It said feel, deal, heal.
Oh,
I'm gonna put that in the chat. So comadres and friends, we would love to hear from you, and let us know how you're feeling. This is a moment to ask any questions if you have.
Judy asked a question before, so I kind of
Okay.
want to bring it up because you said, Marlene, oh, this is a time to tap into your solar plexus, and I have some ideas, but I'd love to give you, since you brought it up. She said, how do you tap into your solar plexus?
Okay, so a few ways. It could be as practical and as complex and witchy as you want to get. Citrine is my favorite way to tap into my solar plexus. I love working with citrine. It is such an abundant stone, and it is also so nurturing and so yummy. I love it. I have it like this. I have it in small ones because I like to carry it around. I like to throw it in my purse, So I connect in that way. The sun is one way where I connect, like immediately, like go out, get under the sun, boom.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, and then I kind of like drink it in. I'll visualize and drink in the sun through my solar plexus, and then I kind of push it out. I'll do all these visualizations to kind of like connect to that space, but you don't have to, just by being under the sun, Some breath of fire for us yogis that are in the house. Breath of fire is a great way to connect with your solar plexus, and look it up on Dr. Google or DM me. Sometimes there's misinformation in the internet, and I can send you a video of me doing a round. You have any ideas, Ilona?
My favorite thing to give to clients is also, I don't know if you guys have seen, it's a very popular TED Talk by Amy Cuddy. So Amy Cuddy did this whole thing on confidence. And if you watch Grey's Anatomy and you're a fan of Amelia Shepherd, you've seen her kind of stand in Superman pose before an operation. And so there's this idea that if you stand kind of like in Superman pose with, confident, head up, your chest up, your arms on your hips, and you have your legs wide apart, and you just stand in that position feeling very confident for 2 minutes, that actually increases your confidence. And for me, it's called the Superman pose, but I call it the solar plexus pose, because what it requires is really for you to open up that space where the solar plexus is, right on the bottom of your rib cage, and stand in the power of breathing into that space. And that's why Amelia does it. That's why Dr. Amelia Shepherd does it on the show, because it is scientifically said to kind of open that space. So if you don't have your crystals, like if you're out and about and you're about to have a meltdown, or you need to like on the spot do something that requires powerful, you can go into a bathroom, stand in a stall, stand and just do that 2-minute power pose, walk on out, and know that your solar plexus has been activated.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a really good one, and it's true. You can do it anywhere, the supermarket.
Yeah.
Anywhere, and also like just to get a little bit more esoteric, learn about your rising sign, because your rising sign is your personality, and your solar plexus is where the ego is housed. It's the seat of the ego. So Judy H is a Leo. Get it. Oh, sorry, that's my moon. Yeah, I thought that was your moon. I don't remember you. I think you're an Aquarius, Judy, aren't you? Yeah.
Aquarius sun.
But she has her rising in Leo. No, your moon is in Leo. What is your rising?
I got it. Cancer.
Cancer. So it's your time now.
This is your moment. Literally, that's why you're on that precipice of breakthrough feeling, because this is your moment. Who says astrology isn't real?
Oh man. And for you aromatherapy enthusiasts, little lemon, anything citrusy really, what else? There's chamomile, sandalwood. Ooh, I love sandalwood. Love me some sandalwood. And lang lang. Orange, yes, Sandy, orange, tangerine. Because yeah, I mean, that's also sacral, but it oh my God, I was just gonna say that, Janine. It brings joy to the solar plexus. Look at you.
Yes, girl.
So comadres, any questions? You can unmute yourself. You can drop it in the chat.
Raise your hand, either one.
Ilona, I'm a Sagittarius rising too. Yeah.
I'm also Sagittarius rising, so both Ilonas are Sagittarius rising.
Triple fire. Triple fire. Woo.
Yeah.
Elevation is a great one. I'm working on stepping into joy, and that is the aromatherapy. Oh, nice. That's why we geek out so much, Ilona. The two Ilonas geek out over Sag rising.
Sounds High like priestess vibes.
Yes, yes. So I don't really have anything else to add. I am pretty complete over here. Ilona, you let me know if there's anything you want to add. I know Jupiter is going into retrograde.
That's the only thing I would add. Jupiter went into retrograde yesterday, and I always remind everyone that I don't fear the retrogrades. Retrogrades are not to freak out. Retrogrades are revision, redirection, review, and Jupiter is a planet of expansion, fortune, and good luck. It is a lucky kid, and it's not that we're going to be unlucky. It's more about like, okay, so the planet is what we're looking at, and the sign is the outfit that it's wearing. So when we started yesterday, we were Jupiter in Pisces. So we get to start with, what am I dreaming about? What are the things that I'm really thinking about? What are the illusions, but what are the dreams? Like, what do I really want from this lifetime? Where do I want my dreams to expand? But then in July 28th, it's going to go into Aquarius, and then it'll be in Aquarius in retrograde until October 18th, I think. And this is important because an Aquarius is about the collective. It's about friends. It's about communities. So we started about like, okay, where do I want to expand my dreams? And how is what I'm doing, where I'm going there? And then we get to say who in my world? What is the collective? What is the energy around me? What are the communities around me? How are they supporting that vision and mission? So that when we come out of the retrograde, right, of Jupiter, which is our expansion, we get to be like, okay, the people around me really support this expansion. And then moving back into the dream state when if it eventually goes back into Pisces later on. So it's not to fear.
It's such a beautiful placement. I'm loving this Jupiter in Pisces, and it really, really allows us, like you said, to pull from that dream space, pull from that dream time, get that expanded vision and use that space to really dream up, like literally dream up your dreams. Like I'm not even exaggerating, comadres. Like I dream up that space. Really go into your imagination with that Jupiter and Pisces placement, and expand. We have a few questions. As a Capricorn, how can I harness this next full moon in Capricorn? Good question. Good question. Well, full moons are the reflection, right? The moon drawing in the light from the sun. So for full moons, when they're in my sign, I like to just see opposites. What can I bring in from the opposite sign? So move into Cancer. See what Cancer can teach you. Move into that childlike wonder for this time. Go to the beach. You know, just where can you mother yourself better? What do you think?
I also think, how can you use your intuition versus your logic? Because Cancer's intuition and Capricorn's the logic. It's the patriarchy versus the matriarchy. So what does your intuition tell you for the season, rather than how am I figuring this out in my brain?
Really, really good. Because you're going to want to figure it out, because that full moon in Capricorn is going to want you to be structured, and it's going to want you to do, and it's how do you look opposite to that? How do you look to Cancer for nourishing? Good question. Mia says, I've been thriving a lot on retrogrades. It's really about where you are when it comes in. Yeah. And what house is it hitting? What's going on in your natal chart? You know, some people are more beneficial during retrogrades than not. You know, like this is not like astrology is not cookbook. It's not one size fits all. It depends. And when we really start evolving in that, we see deeper and deeper into the astrology. You know, it really comes alive. So that's really awesome, Neil. That's great. Karen is asking, when would be a good time to start a new venture and do some manifestation after the retrograde?
Great question. For me, what do so my personal off the bat thought, Marlene, is like, I'm always like, don't do it during Mercury retrograde. Well, wait till Mercury retrograde's over, because that's an inner planet, right? Like some of the things that you also get to know is that there are what we call the inner planets and then the outer planets. So the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, I'm missing one. Anyway, those are the inner planets. They impact us personally a lot more deeply. And then the outer planets like Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, those take longer. Those impact the collective, right? So we can't always wait for them to do something. But the inner planets, they're short. And then we can really be like, oh, let's wait till they're done and use this time to plan so we can have better energy. So, you know, if you're working on something, Karen, I would say wait until Mercury is fully direct, maybe even until after the shadow phase, which is like July 7th. So use this time to plan, and then like spread the word.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely. You're going to start feeling the momentum as well. Like after the retrograde, you'll see how things will be easier. They'll come easier to you, and turn on that intuition, tap into that Cancer season. And after the retrograde, July into July, you'll start feeling when you're ready, you know, but definitely after Mercury retrograde. Ilona says, I'm so overthinking, ready for all my emotions and intuition. Yeah, you're waiting for that balance, right? And then Ilona calls us like 3 days later. I can't stop crying. Oh, yeah, it's good. It's good to take a break, and it's good to be in summer. And there, you know, like the kids are out in summer, so let's be out in summer too. You know, let's give a break to our minds. Rest. Let's you know, make the tea at night, eat the chocolate cake, you know, have a good time, invite joy. You know, and continue to use everything that we have, you know, gone through to this point, to keep moving us forward, to keep evolving us, to keep, you know, making us better and more authentic, more into our sovereign selves, more into our sovereign choices. Really, that's what it's all about. And that's what I got.
Thank you for being here. We're so honored, once again, that you joined us so last minute.
Yes, thank you so much. It was so much fun, Ilona. Thank you for doing this with me. I hope, comadres, that you got something out of it. And, you know, I will see you in the full moon report that's coming up on the 25th. For potential comadres that are thinking,
Okay.
No.
Okay, you're back. You're back. You're back. You froze.
Yeah, for potential comadres that are watching, we have open enrollment July 22nd through the 25th. So consider joining our crew. Look us up. If you have any questions, both Ilona and here are ready to answer them, and anyone who might have invited you to this tonight. But I'm glad that you got a little taste of what we do every month. Thank you, comadres, for being here. Thank you, comadres, for watching later. This was so much fun. Have a good night, everybody. Mwah.
Ciao,
Big hug.
comadres.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.